Dr. Hatch Salmon, a name whispered with reverence, feared by rivals. Not in the operating room, mind you. No, Dr. Salmon was a master of a far more delicate, a far more critical domain, the picnic. His weapon of choice? Potato salad. A simple dish, some might say. But in the hands of Dr. Salmon, it transformed, it sang. It made grown men weep with joy. Each year, the town's elite eagerly awaited his culinary masterpiece at the annual Founders' Day banquet. Little did they know this year's banquet would be one for the books. Not for its deliciousness, mind you, but for its, shall we say, gastrointestinal side effects. Dr. Salmon surveyed his kitchen, a battlefield prepped for culinary combat. Bowls gleamed, spoons stood at attention. He hummed a little ditty, a symphony of anticipation. He had a reputation to uphold, a legacy to cement. His potato salad was not merely food, it was an experience, a journey for the palate. He eyed the mayonnaise jar, a pristine white sentinel standing guard on the counter. A crucial ingredient, the mayonnaise, the mortar to his potato salad bricks. He'd picked it up that morning, last minute, from that gas station down the road. The one with the flickering neon sign and the cashier who always looked vaguely surprised to see a customer. He hadn't thought much of it then. He'd learn his lessons soon enough. Oh yes, he would learn. You see, Dr. Salmon's potato salad had always been the highlight of the banquet. People would talk about it for months, reminiscing about the creamy texture, the perfect balance of flavors, and the way it seemed to melt in their mouths. He was always experimenting, always looking for that next great twist to elevate his dish. This year, he thought he'd found it. A secret ingredient, something that would set his potato salad apart from all the previous years. He added it with a flourish, confident in his choice. He tasted it, and it was perfect, or so he thought. The banquet hall was being set up, decorations were being hung, and the air was filled with excitement and anticipation. Guests began to arrive, dressed in their finest attire, ready to indulge in the culinary delights that awaited them. Dr. Salmon presented his dish with pride, and the room erupted in applause. Little did they know the night was about to take an unexpected turn. At first, everything seemed perfect. Guests were enjoying the food, laughing and chatting, but soon a few guests started to feel unwell. Concerned expressions replaced the smiles, and whispers of discomfort began to spread. Dr. Salmon realized his mistake too late. The secret ingredient, it turned out, was not as benign as he had thought. Guests began to leave early, their evening ruined by the unexpected turn of events. Dr. Salmon reflected on the night, a somber mood settling over him. He had learned a valuable lesson, one that he would not soon forget. But he was determined. Next year, he would redeem himself. Next year, his potato salad would be perfect once more. With renewed focus, he began to plan, already thinking of ways to make his dish even better. The legend of Dr. Salmon's potato salad would live on. The gas station had that familiar, oily aroma, the kind that clung to your clothes like a bad habit. The cashier, a young man with the physique of a melted candle, barely looked up from his magazine. Just this, Dr. Salmon had said, plunking the mayonnaise jar on the counter, a monument to his impending doom. The cashier grunted, scanned it with a flick of his wrist that suggested carpal tunnel syndrome was in his future. Dr. Salmon paid, a strange premonition tickling the back of his neck. He dismissed it as pre-banquet jitters. He was Dr. Salmon, after all. His potato salad was legendary. What could possibly go wrong? He hadn't noticed, or perhaps chosen to ignore, the faintest hint of yellow in the mayonnaise. A subtle, insidious yellow that whispered of things gone bad, of bacterial uprisings, of intestinal distress. He whistled a jaunty tune as he drove home, oblivious to the ticking time bomb in his passenger seat. Oh, the irony, the delicious mayonnaise-laden irony. The banquet hall buzzed with anticipation. The who's who of the town were there. Mayor Mildred Macmillan, resplendent in her plum-coloured dress, her wig slightly askew. Mr. and Mrs. Farmington, their faces scrubbed clean, their smiles a touch too wide. And of course, the object of their culinary affection, Dr. Salmon's potato salad, sat in its usual place of honour. A mountain of creamy, eggy goodness. The first bite was met with the usual murmurs of delight. "Divine! Exquisite! Hatch, you've outdone yourself!" Dr. Salmon beamed, basking in the warm glow of their praise. He took a bite himself, savouring the familiar taste. A hint of mustard, a whisper of celery, a symphony of potato, all held together by the creamy embrace of mayonnaise. He didn't notice the faint, almost imperceptible tang. Not yet. The compliments kept coming. People went back for seconds, then thirds. Dr. Salmon puffed up like a proud peacock, his ego soaring higher than a hawk on a sugar rush. He was on top of the world. Little did he know, the world was about to come crashing down, and it would be a crash of epic mayonnaise-fueled proportions.